Oi, buenos tardes, buenos noches. I am currently driving. It's actually one of my most favorite places in the world to have thoughts and conversations with myself and my creator. And all that is, really. And the beauty and the glory of that is that just that simple word or statement really has so much meaning and depth or intimacy. Sometimes I'm a fan of just driving. I have no attachment to where I'm going. The longer the road, the more adventurous, the better. However, I'm not always certain and confident in where I'm going because many times the lands are new, like new territory. And sometimes I've been there a few times and it still feels like it's new territory. Because the atmosphere is always changing, because the weather's always changing, or the conditions of the road have a tendency to change. And that can be uncomfortable, that unfamiliarity, and being in like these untreaded waters and having those moments of unknown. I am an instrument and able to tell that there are more helpful, more descriptive, more beneficial words to be able to tell the same exact story that I'm telling now. Much more simpler, childlike ways of explaining and sharing and co-creating. However, that energetic expression of fear or repressing or hesitation, unknown, all these dimensions or boxes of the experience, I am attempting to find the best words to kind of communicate and find, you could say my network, my team, my people to communicate with, because I'm interested in dialogue, and I am especially interested in alternate thought, meaning I am hungry and thirsty to be surrounded by those who are thinking and behaving differently than I am currently automatically, habitually responding from a epigenetic, ancestral, habitual pattern routine. I am burnt out from the feeling of fear and insecurity and insignificance and belonging. It's difficult to explain these human experiences into actual words, and it's more difficult to have resonance, assistance, or teamwork with these moments of growth. Feeling afraid, being in unknown territories, rebuilding the self, character, self-development. Oh man, the growing pains, the pains of learning better. My heart can be broken and disgusted at myself, at not having self-control and being powerless. And that can be frightening, and that emotion can also create excitement and to witness a blessing of an opportunity to do something different. I'm passionate Therefore, it can be complex, not simple, challenging. I am attempting to not be automatic, monkey mind, selfish, conceited, narcissistic. I will not enjoy to participate in any of those things. It is not my choice, and if I am in that position, it is on accident and not of my volition or interest of my personal heart and choice. I will enjoy to make better choices and to recognize and understand and identify and associate myself with these ideas of peace, passion, and liberty, living in complete existence. And again, I am not satisfied with my word choice, and I have been writing things down and attempting to get as clear as possible with myself and my creator what is my favorite way to be me and what is the me that I absolutely love the most. I am so passionate and interested in speaking with people like Damasio, Metzinger, John Vervaeke. I want to how about the IFS guy? Okay, I'm sorry. Richard Schwartz. Okay. Excuse me, Peter Levine. I am interested in having a conversation and having some answers and have all of this information be gifted to me at once. Imagine all 5 or 10 or 6 or many individuals coming together just to have this conversation of the many selves. How who I am to you is not who I am to the person standing next to you. For you, maybe I am a gifted healer who has a deep understanding and childlike nature. And maybe for the next guy, I am a fool. I am inconsiderate of their feelings. Or I am not able to identify and relate to their idea of treating people as objects or trees and intentionally cutting them down for my own gain. That does not seem like rewarding for me and not a good way to enjoy my riches. So it's not very easy for me to coexist with the idea of these different versions of hearts and minds. And I'm interested in not finding joy and happiness in collecting things, people, places, you understand, like the aspects. Again, writing things down will help me make things clear. So please attempt to understand that I am still formulating a plan, an idea, a structure. I have written some things down, and I'm not interested in running a script and playing a role. Again, back to the multiple selves. Okay, so we all have the judge, the doctor, the mother, the fighter, the protector. I have a beautiful list of things, and I'm very, very excited to share what I've written down. However, organizing all these thoughts and actually putting them into a well-written lecture is not very easy, especially since there's so many different dimensions of beings who come here to this place where this information can be gathered. It seems unreasonable to have the expectation that I'm going to come into agreement with individuals who can hold a space and container to allow me to elaborately express these ideas and concepts that are within me, that I am interested in having new ideas or new things added on top of these things, like ATGC. I have a million questions. And yes, there are very quick ways of finding these answers thanks to this law or world of technocracy, AI, IT. information technology, this information is really priceless. I am not appreciative of burning books. I am not happy over the Library of Alexandria. I am very passionate about historical significance, and it's important for me, and in my opinion, for others to benefit from seeing and being intimate with historical significance and having a basic understanding how you could say humans at times will remember history or the past in the way that it's not true. Therefore, to be there in the experience is a whole different experience, right? For those individuals who have survived or experienced and lived through this experience of being a soldier or a nurse or these professions, it's not always a matter of being paid. It's a matter of actually like being there at that time and being in that position. And we all have these experiences, and I am recognizing that there are these moments where there are people who are not driving or are not walking or are not breathing easily. And I can see how there's so many different and really in some levels it's absolutely perfect. Yet human nature cannot have a acceptance of these things. Therefore, we have created machine learning and invested and proceeded to give our attention to these ideas that are not really making sense to me. However, I can respect the fear and why there may be individuals who will enjoy to truly live forever and be part computer, part human. I am also understanding and compassionate that it is not necessarily the choice of every person, yet they have seen and experienced ideas or visuals that make these choices a choice or an idea inside their mind already, and therefore what we shall allow shall continue. So if we choose to accept becoming this within ourselves, the power of suggestion is extremely powerful. At times, we can find ourselves making choices, not realizing the things that we are currently believing or buying into are false or not true. For example, if we are afraid of our success, therefore we may do a behavior that kind of holds back the success. And we have a conscious knowing that this behavior is not getting us closer to our goals, and still the habitual pattern overrides, and there we are, powerless. In this mindful state, we can choose to no longer engage with not engaging. We can see that not doing something is a very act of us, doing something. We chose to do nothing. We chose to watch. We chose to accept and let things flow into motion instead of listening to our heart. Each of our bodies holds and contains so much memory. And I enjoy creating containers and spaces where we can sit together and we can really really, really, really just sit there, breathe, and feel what's inside of our body and what we can experience with no people, no place, no thing. This Pratyahara practice, withdrawal of the senses, releasing our attachment to the indulgence of the senses, and instead entering this place of being a witness, true listening, deep listening, and obedience, complete obedience to the heart, to the truth, to the unspoken, to love, as an act of love to truly listen, to Shema, okay? It's been a very painful experience of growth, coming into contact with so many things that are drastically different from things that I have experienced in the past. And when I have been engaged and identified and associated with and in relation to and partnered with like these experiences, you become a changed person, and it is difficult to not be hyper vigilant at times, to not expect that that thing is going to happen again. And then when you are kind of riding that wave or that agreement and you are in that, then I am no longer in the present and the here now. And then that kind of creates a open door or a gate to recreate that same exact identity story, almost like creating it on purpose, subconsciously. And it can be the body's way of attempting to heal itself. So it is supremely intelligent and not really something that we have control over, kind of like our species evolution. It's very intricate and pretty fascinating to really pay attention to the evolutionary development, Devo. I'm very grateful to my teachers. There's so many great teachers, and I guess the main one to think is Heavenly Creator, because without Creator, I will not be in contact with any of those who have been graced upon my path, or that I have been graced with their grace and their significance of their life, because learning these different things has given an opportunity to give meaning where there was none, and that is not very mindful, to allow the self to get completely swept away with emotions. And it can be really, 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 really lovely to enjoy emotions. At the same time, it can be seemingly a toxic addiction and not really wise. However, the mind is a very powerful instrument, and we are continuing to learn new fascinating things about the brain. I'm grateful. I have been sent so much homework from friends and people I love that have taught me new fascinating things that, again, make my life really rewarding. I'm interested in sharing so much with you. I am very, very much so behind in my personal mail, and I'm grateful for those of you who are supporting me and financially contributing to my dreams, where I can be free and truly free, not just from thinking, but also free to make choices and being in a space where it is easy to be me. Does anyone know what the 5 A's are? Does anyone know what I'm talking about? I can think of one friend who would be raising his hand right now. Is there anyone else? I am unsure. It's possible the book is called How to Be an Adult in a Relationship. It was a really good book. It was very fun. It was very cute. I enjoy books. I wouldn't mind enjoying that book one more time, because it is common sense, but not common practice. Thank you so much for being part of my world. I am doing my best to manage my time and to be appropriate. It is not always easy to Shema. I choose to make it easy to Shema. My Creator makes it easy to Shema. Sí, señor. Sí, señorita. Gracias, mi amor. Gracias. Gracias, gracias. Limpia, limpia. Sana, sana, sana. Oh, the chapters of my life that I can sing to my Creator. What a transformation and a journey and grace and love and peace and many things that have been revealed to me. That is much, much thanks. Much, much thanks to the elders who have done the work and have taken the steps that I'm taking now and that are the hope that we have for the future. That we can and we will. It is not good to me, the ideas that are being suggested online. And it is not good. It's almost as if it's mass hypnosis or kitten brainwashing. I am attempting to be very selective in the terminology. However, if you are with me, you will completely know what is kitten mind control. And it's unfortunate that there are people who are being suggested ideas which the brain automatically believes and accepts for a moment without dissection, as we have learned about System 1 from Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman. Therefore, when an individual is allowing the treatment of another individual to be used, sacrificed, or participated with in these ways, then others can identify and associate with either one or the other. I can attempt to explain that later. Many times, if you are meant to get a personal lesson or a personal sharing, it is better to have a private and have things accustomed to you, making the words for you, being mindful who the audience is, instead of just speaking to an open room and holding space for all the vast contrast. Part of me wanted to use the word varsity. However, I'm like, how does that word actually work? Perhaps we should look up the new definition of this, because there seems to be a lot of definitions in the dictionary that are suddenly being changed. They are suddenly changing the stories and the words that they use to teach what these things are. And it's almost like words are being used to influence and create seeds and concepts that are being accepted, such as a mass acceptance of changing our food. And this can be where we change the seeds in the ground and we modify God's creation in this way or that way. And that can be even your body, like we modify creation in that way. It's amazing what can be done in a laboratory and how we are intimately getting to know what this reality is based on these experiences. However, it seems like there is a cost, and what I have been taught is called an opportunity cost. And again, these are difficult concepts to just formulate into childlike ways of teaching and asking the question. So when I have the question, I can promise when I have the question, I will ask the question clearly. However, I have not made the questions absolutely clear to myself. Therefore, I am still playing ball or exercise with managing these concepts and these ideas and what I'm interested in learning and doing as an attempt to have conscious choice of what I am doing with my body and what my life purpose is and what I am seeking to do with my everyday. I am excessively passionate about writing and communicating and sharing stories and helping people. And I can imagine that there are infinite ways that I can make a survival or a trade exchange of having a really fruitful life that is full of loving support to my growth and my personal development, to live a life that is authentic to me instead of what has been pressed upon me and being forced to accept what the suggestions were. I am in a state of mind where I am able to notice, recognize, and identify. At the same time, I am not necessarily in a place where I can every single time choose. And I can see that is there. However, at the same time, in the moment when I am automatically on autopilot, I am in a accident. That is the best way to describe if I am attempting to paint a picture in your mind to try to explain what is happening for me. And metanoia, repentance, translated, change of the position of the heart, edified, refined, reborn. I'm like a transformed, changed person. I'm not the same. However, again, going through the experience and learning and having the pain of not knowing and getting in trouble or going through problems, it's really, 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 really not fun. But being honest with myself and really intimately learning and knowing who I am and what is true for me, that is like really interesting to see, because sometimes we think we are one person and we are this way and this is who we are and this is where we're going, and we have the idea that we have it all figured out, when really, like, surrender comes to mind. Like, I am the offering. Thank you, God. Here, what can I do for you? And at the same time, as I was mentioning before, it's like I am not sure who I am or how I feel about things until I'm kind of put there in front of it or surrounding this or that, and then learning about myself in this way or that way. And it's really a process, because again, we have these ideas or these concepts and these beliefs that we are this somebody, but in the process we become an individual who maybe isn't someone we really choose to be. And that can be uncomfortable. For example, I am judging myself, and when I am judging myself, I am judging everything else. Like, God, why is this plant here? God, why is this like this? Hey, Creator, why did you make this? Why is this here? What is this? Why does this exist? What's the meaning of this? And really, I can depend that I am not all-knowing. I am not dependable. Yet I can hold so much. I cannot contain all and bear all. I cannot do everything. I cannot see everything. I cannot hold everything. I cannot create everything. But I can do something, and I can be something. A human being, not a human doing, not a human becoming. Thank you, Dwayne. So this is my personal journey, and some things that I'm really harboring or I am holding on to. Currently my wrist is hurting. I have been pitchforking, mulch. I wanted to say shoveling, and then I realized that that really wasn't something good. So I have these fantasies at times of being a comedian. And my comedy is so nonsense and really bad jokes. Really, really bad jokes. And it's because the judgment and the labeling and the mocking and the way I am mocking myself. Okay? And how I am mocking myself and treating myself, I am treating others. And the stories and ideas that I'm repeating to myself are not reality, and are stories that other people have said about me that I have adopted and believed and made that mistake of living that to be my truth when that truth makes me sick and is not legitimate. It's not life-giving. It's not fulfilling. It doesn't really help anyone. Perhaps that is a lie. I can imagine and invent and create endless excuses, right? There's plenty of great excuses. Everyone would be doing it if it were true to them, yes? It's a process, and not everything can be given in story. It's important to me to really clean my mind and to see and keep inventory of how my experience is going. And I am interested in so many different things, and I am taking my time getting clear with myself who I am and what I enjoy and what I choose. And I am transforming myself because I am not happy believing stories that I have to do this or I have to do that in order to be loved or to be treated with respect or to be accepted, that I am expected to do this and forced to do that. I am not interested in force or betrayal, and I am fascinated by my ability to adapt and make changes and to attempt to remain conscious and to not fall asleep. And I choose to not be sleepwalking and living in a dream of story. Perhaps those aren't the best words. I enjoy living my dream. I love to live my dream. Are you afraid of your dream? There's so many different areas of our life that healing can be brought to. And connection. My heart wants to say that there's nothing greater than connection. Our connection to all that is. Some would define this as quantum physics, or what's that word? Synchronicity? I'm loving the sounds of the falling rain, and I'm grateful for taking this time to really, 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 really work on getting it all out and attempting to make it clear. Video journaling definitely seems to be one of the most useful and effective ways. And there's nothing more I can say. Thank you. I am going to return to you when the time calls. If you will like, we can schedule time together. I am available. May God bless you. May you be healthy. May you be safe. May you live with ease. May you be free from suffering. May you be happy. May you shine bright and remember who you truly are and not be afraid to share this into words and clear communication. May you be real and be a mirror for others to copy you and to remember how you are always this value no matter how mean you are. That people will always try to copy you no matter how mean you are. Or how nice you are, how good, how true. And we have the power to change all the time. We can choose. I choose, I will have. I will have, I choose. If these statements are difficult to say to yourself, there is room for play and exercise, and I will be happy to donate a free 5 minutes. And if you want to work together more, that's an option for you too. Just remember the importance of equal energetic exchange. And I have done my best to make it part of my purpose that I share that with you of what that exactly looks like. For example, if I am washing your dishes, you are washing my dishes too. And if I am not having my dishes washed by you, then pay me $25 for washing your dishes. Or maybe you think it's worth more, or maybe you can only afford less, but you still need the help and we can work something out differently where there's an equal energetic exchange. Maybe you have no hands and cannot wash my dishes. Therefore, you have all these beautiful roses and I can have as many roses that make my house smell great. Okay? I love play. I love integration. I love affection. And I have great inspiration to grow. And I am, again, always honored and graced with the opportunity to come into contact with you and to have the friendship and the brother and sisterhood that we have really as one family under God. It really is such a magical purpose. At times I cannot believe it and I really discredit it and I really take it for granted. But there's still a little kid inside me, you could say, who really, really wants to believe and really, really wants to do good deeds and to transform into a much, 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 much better soul and happy spirit and to just have great stories spoken about me when I am not here anymore, and that the things that I have shared with all of God's children are passed on to other children who are not yet here, and that there can be meaning. Perhaps it is important for me to listen further to John Vervaeke and the meaning crisis, because from a mindful point I can see that nothing has meaning, and everything that has meaning I have assigned that meaning to it, and it might have an even different dimension or perspective of meaning that I am not thinking of, because I am limited by my previous perceptions and my limited forms of communication or self-expression, and creator and me seems to be the main theme of this life. It is amazing the short lifespan that I have, kind of holding hands and being close into contact with some amazing people that are giving me a chance to speak, and a hand up sometimes, like freaking helping me out, teaching me how to help myself and how to be a better human being. Like, there's no greater payment than that, right? And seeing other people heal themselves and having the world transform itself, that's really, really the greatest thing in the world. So again, I'm giving you a big giant hug. I have so much more to share. As you know, I could go forever. I really could go forever. If you really know me, my heart is like there. And trust me, there's been times where I haven't been there and my heart is absolutely broken and I feel like I can't go on and that my life is over because this part of me is no longer. And I am aware that almost every person that has ever lived has potentially experienced that experience or felt that feeling for just a moment in their youth or even in their eldership. Okay? So I am attempting to remind myself that that is true and potential truth, and that it's okay. It's allowed. Self-acceptance. And it's important for me to get moving at this time. I have felt the call for a while. However, I have felt this call as well. So I wanted to take time to really share my tone and a part of something big that's kind of working through me and on my red road. And take care. When you are ready, we can connect. You have to choose to connect. You have to ask to connect. It's really easy. Hey, when can we connect? It doesn't have to be seen in any form. It can just say, hey, when can we connect? You want to talk? You want to share? You want to listen? You want to be there? If you're not clear in what you want, that's okay. Just say, hey, I want to connect. I don't know how to connect. I don't want to connect. I'm afraid to connect. There's many different ways, okay? If you don't want to connect and you're satisfied with this little chapter here and free bit of software or whatever you want to call this, okay? This little 44 minutes of Trina Christine Mason. You can send $1. You can send a high five. You can send $1 million. I'm just kidding. I think part of you all know that, like, that doesn't matter. Like, at all. Yellow metal. I can't say the phrase, okay? If you want me to say that joke to you, you're going to have to book a private and say, hey, tell me about yellow metal. Okay? Some of you might have heard me say this joke before. I've just openly said it. I'm just not going to say it right now. So we'll end this with the joke I have, okay? It's about if you want free envelopes, go to the bank. You have already invested your money in the bank. They will give you envelopes. You don't have to buy envelopes because you just get them from the bank. We can make a joke that's for poor people. I thought that was a joke. Or like maybe we could make a joke. Maybe you could make it a joke about rich people, that rich people think that it's only for poor people to get free envelopes. Or that it's like shameful to go get a free envelope from the bank. But I just feel very much so full of thanks that the bank will give you an envelope. Like that's paper, that's valuable life right there. Transformed into something that gets reused and repurposed. However, there are so many natural expressions that are just taken for granted. When's the last time you watered a plant? Not to get anything from it, but just to like give it something. Give it some nutrients. Right? Help someone who can never pay you back. Ever. Help someone without trying to get anything out of it. Not even a good story about yourself. See if you can have that attachment. I'm being playful while also being really, really, really much so a very bad comedian. So, again, I'm going to happily go on an adventure and continue my journey. And there's a person outside and their hoodie says, "When the worst happens, we are here to help." That's pretty cool. So, I'm here. You are here. We have these opportunities. Sending a big giant hug, a high five. May God bless you. May you be able to notice every single blessing, and even when things seem to be going wrong, that you can recognize that those are blessings too. Sometimes you just cannot see and understand what you are being gifted. Maybe you are learning something new about yourself that you didn't know. You didn't know that you loved that much or that you cared that much about this. And now you're learning that you're having this response, and you can learn a little bit more about yourself and then make choices that kind of have you living a life of where you are happy no matter what, not dependent on people, place, or thing, being happy for no reason. Okay? Ho'oponopono. Shanti. Shalom.